Let's talk about Series 1 of the LEGO Collectible Minifigure Series 13 years later. What's up, LEGO fans, and welcome to my channel, Pete's Bricks, the LEGO channel for the common LEGO fan. And in today's video, we are revisiting the very first LEGO CMF series 13 years later. I can remember being in the 4th grade when the first series of CMFs came out. So, do the first series of CMF minifigures still hold up to the minifigures of today? Let's head over to my lightbox and find out right now. First up, we have the Tribal Hunter. I just wanted to point out that every minifigure in this series will have a torso print. Some of them have leg and waist print, but not all. And then none of them have back prints. Remember, this is 2010, so getting leg printing was nice, but back printing was just not a standard thing across all minifigures like we have today. This Tribal Hunter minifigure does feature a unique hairpiece, which I think is pretty cool. He has the 2 ponytails on either side and the hair atop, which features some small holes for the mini peg connection, just like the feathers right there. You can attach one in the back. You can also attach one into the hole right on the top if you choose to do so, but the instructions and the official pictures indicate that this is where you want to place the feathers that are included with this set. Again, this is 2010, so there will be no double-sided heads, though I do like the facial expression they gave to this minifigure. I like the big cheesy grin and the red and black tribal paint on his cheeks. I also like the accessories of the classic bow and quiver piece that just add a little action to this minifigure. If this was done today, I could see dual molded legs, back printing, maybe arm printing, a few more lines on the torso, but you'll probably hear this from me a lot during this video. As a kid, this minifigure was great. Even looking back today, I think this is a fine minifigure, and I'm happy to have this guy in my collection. In future minifigure series, we would see the Native American people be expanded. So right here we have a female that goes with the male perfectly. You can see those dual molded arms with the yellow and dark tan, dual molded legs, dark tan and tan, along with some foot printing and foot printing even on the side of the legs. Still, I think the 2010 figure still holds up pretty well and they pair together nicely. Next up, we have the Caveman, one of my personal favorites of the series. He featured a brand new hair and beard combo piece, which makes him look extra rugged and extra caveman-like. I also really like the brand new for the time club that came out in reddish brown. I think that is an essential accessory for the caveman. Sure, they could have just given him a bone or a rock or something for him to hold instead of a full-on club, but even back then, way back in 2010 Series 1, LEGO was still creating new and specialized elements exclusive to the CMF lineup. The printing on this minifigure is appropriate with the animal pelt outfit, with the bone used to hold it all together, even though his face would be covered up most of the time by the hair-beard combo. Underneath, he sports a very large smile and a massive unibrow. Again, it's funny, it's creative, and it just really shows you guys why I like the early CMF series so much. Continuing the lineup of iconic LEGO minifigures, next up, we have the Circus Clown. Even though we have gotten different LEGO clowns from different themes and future series and CMFs, we have never gotten another LEGO clown quite like this one. This one, which in my opinion is the best LEGO clown of all time. So let's break this minifigure down. First of all, you have the giant red afro, a piece that only comes in this minifigure. I must stress, it has never been reproduced or made again in any other LEGO set for any other minifigure in red. When I think Circus Clown, I think red afro, I think Ronald McDonald, I think iconic clown feature. And it does kind of surprise me that no other LEGO clowns have reused this piece. Moving down to the head. The head also stands out to me as being kind of strange, but also pretty cool. So right next to him, I've placed another LEGO clown from the future so you guys can better understand what I'm trying to say when I talk about how this clown is the only LEGO clown ever to show his regular yellow skin color and have a little bit of white makeup on top, while every other clown that would come out after would have their face completely white and wouldn't show any yellow skin. There's just something about the white eyes painted around the normal Lego eyes and the red nose with no black outline that makes this print not feel dated, but it just makes it feel like it's super classic and super Lego, if that makes any sense. Moving down, we have a few patches on different colored legs. Very simple print, but I think it does its job effectively. Finally, I think the accessory is just awesome. It is a trumpet with one of those balls at the end that I assume he squeezes and it makes a honking sound. Again, just a super simple yet fun accessory to give to the Circus Clown. They could have given him flowers, they could have given him a printed tile of something, but instead they decided to go with a specialized mold just for this minifigure, never made before in any other set besides this clown. Next up is the turkey leg loving zombie. This is the first zombie minifigure ever made by Lego, and they put it in CMF Series One. I really like all the teeth, the sunken eyes, the scar across the eyebrow, the gray under the mouth. The graphic designer did a great job on this minifigure. The torso depicts a nice tattered suit. Well, I guess not so nice anymore since it's been pretty tattered. They could have just given him some plain legs, but instead they added a few extra prints on those legs to show some tattered pants to go with the rest of his appearance. And I gotta say, this is still a great minifigure. We've never really gotten a plain, generic, and massable zombie quite like this one ever again. Although we did get a color variant of the same zombie in an accessory pack. As you can see, the only difference is that the brown and the gray on the torso have been swapped. So this other one has a brown suit with a gray tie as opposed to the gray suit with the brown tie. From this image, their faces look kind of different, but that's really just an error of printing and they're meant to be the exact same heads. Of all the minifigures, besides one that I will mention later, I can see a lot of people saying today that this is a pretty boring minifigure, since today in CMF series, people are used to getting these really wild, creative, highly printed, super detailed minifigures. This is just a skater. He gets a plain blue skateboard, features no printing on his legs. He does have a unique face printing, though it kind of just looks like any other city head portrait. He does get that unique printed torso with the skull, which I do like. However, there's really nothing super special to this minifigure. Although I will say that I kind of like that he's just kind of a generic minifigure. While a lot of modern CMF figures are more wild and eccentric, they can be kind of hard to place into your city unless you just want a lot of wild, fun minifigures walking around. This is a minifigure that fits perfectly in any Lego city, and I think that's actually a plus. I had already said that the caveman was one of my favorites, and that is true. However, this robot is my second favorite of the entire wave. I really like that brand new specialized chrome helmet added to the top of this minifigure, along with the chrome arm and robot hand. While the torso, the left arm, and the legs are normal light gray, he does feature some chrome printing on the torso, along with all those little tiny bolts on the torso and the legs. What a great and detailed minifigure. Removing the helmet, we get a closer look at his face, which I think is awesome. I love the red eyes, the grid-like pattern for the teeth, the tubing detail and the bolts on the side of the head, the shiny chrome done down the center of the head. This minifigure is fantastic. Though he does lack back printing, I do think this minifigure holds up to the minifigs of today. Please let me know in the comments if you agree with me or maybe you don't. After the robot, we have the most unique and the most underrated minifigure of Series 1. This is the Demolition Dummy. I think this minifigure is underrated just because of how completely unique it is. While I like minifigures like the caveman or the robot, we have gotten more cave people and many robots way after they made these figures. However, we have never gotten another Demolition Dummy. I really like the symbols he has on the chest, the leg, and the forehead. His expression is emotionless because, well, he's supposed to be a dummy and he really doesn't do anything. He includes a printed tile with some letters and numbers and a wrench. Unlike some of the other minifigures, I think this minifigure is very massable, especially if you wanted to build a mock of a car factory where they manufacture cars and you wanted a testing center for the cars, this minifigure would work perfectly in there. Right here we have the most straightforward minifigure of the series. He is called Ninja. He is a ninja. You got the black robe printed on the torso, ninja mask on top, gold sword included, just to show you guys that yes, I have had these minifigures since I was a kid when they came out. His face is a bit worn. I don't know what happened with the mouth, if it was misprinted or I was playing with it and it just kind of worn off. But just imagine that the mouth print just continues like normal with a stern frown. This minifigure is perfect. From the top hat to the torso print to the triangular goatee to the exclusive painted wand, the magician is a perfect minifig. I find it extremely surprising that we've never gotten another LEGO magician again. This is a great minifigure and one of my favorites of the series. Up next we have another iconic LEGO CMF face. This is what LEGO calls the Super Wrestler. This series does seem like a bunch of firsts, that's because it is. This is the first LEGO wrestler. Nice leg print. I like the belt around his torso. The choice of orange for the muscle definition on the chest does match the graphic design that LEGO was using in the early 2010s. Even though the yellow on the blue head does look a little greenish, I still think it looks a lot better than some of the questionable prints that LEGO does today. I like the red detail on the mask along with the red cape, and I think this figure really is a 10 out of 10. Many years later in 2017, I believe, we would finally get a challenger for the Super Wrestler in a LEGO movie set. This spaceman is a more modern sci-fi action tank on a classic LEGO spaceman. Nice reflective print on the torso, added detail on the legs, waist, and even foot printing, which is super uncommon for the time. To top it off, you have a nice classic blaster along with a 3-stud long blue lightsaber blade. That's right, the normal lightsaber blade is 4 studs long, while this exclusive version at the time was only 3 studs long. Here we have a reference to classic LEGO Castle with the Forestman. He's basically a classic Forestman updated to, at the time, today's standards, with a brand new torso and face print. He uses that classic Robin Hood-esque hat from the original Castle line, along with a nice quiver and bow that the Tribal Hunter also uses in this series. There's not much to say about this minifigure other than the bright green really makes him stand out from the rest of the series. I'm sure he was a welcome addition to any LEGO Castle fans collection. The Deep Sea Diver also feels like another classic city minifigure that would easily fit into any LEGO city theme. Something I didn't realize until I was researching this minifigure is that the breathing apparatus, what is this? Oh, the air tank. That the air tank on the back in orange remains exclusive to this minifigure today, which I thought was really awesome. You can raise up the goggles and he has a face there with some accentuated cheekbones. Another LEGO graphic design detail that I think LEGO would just omit today, but I still like the inclusion nonetheless. So far, I think it's pretty cool that we've had some representation from different classic LEGO themes, like castle, space, and even ninjas. So it's only fitting that we close out this series with the Series 1 Classic Cowboy. I like the reddish-brown, dark tan, and tan color scheme. The pair of dual revolvers is pretty cool, and I really like the bandolier and the large belt buckle on his torso. I'm pretty sure this minifigure was the first to feature the cowboy hat or the fedora, depending on who's wearing it, in dark tan, which is pretty cool. Definitely another action-oriented minifigure for the series, something that 4th grade year-old me was pretty happy to add to my collection. Right here we have all the minifigures, minus 2 of course, which I will mention in a few moments, but back in 2010, each minifigure only cost $1.99. Today, minifigures cost $4.99. It's pretty crazy to think how cheap they were, but of course I understand there's inflation. Today minifigures have more printing, more detail, more new parts, things are more expensive to produce, and while I am aware of all that, something makes me wish that minifigures were just a bit cheaper and just a bit more accessible for actual kids to be able to buy with their pocket money. You might have noticed that there are 2 minifigures that I do not have, so I'll throw up pictures for them briefly right next to me as I talk about them. First up, you have the nurse. She didn't really bring anything new to my collection, so I went ahead and passed on that minifigure. Next up, we have the cheerleader, who does feature brand new pieces for those pom-poms, but being a young boy, figures like the wrestler, the zombie, and the ninja just appealed a lot more to me, and I just was not interested in getting the cheerleader at all. That being said, I have thought of going back and adding these figures to my